Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. DJ here again. Thank you for dropping in, and I have some comments to make again. As usual, each day I make a comment on what's happening in the world, but especially in the UK, in Great Britain and England especially. So what I want to get onto today is smash the gangs. Yes, smash the gangs. That's what Labour would have us believe they're doing, the Labour government, what they're doing. In truth, however, they've done nothing of the sort. They've not smashed the gangs. Illegal migration continues to spiral out of control, and the latest figures are damning. Over 5,500 migrants have arrived via small boats crossing this year alone, a record-breaking number. For all of their tough talk, Labour is failing miserably, and the British people are left to foot the bill. Labour's so-called solution, a thinly veiled rehash of the Conservative government's Rwanda scheme, with just a different name and a few cosmetic changes. Instead of Rwanda, Labour now proposes sending failed asylum seekers to detention centres in the Western Balkans, Albania, Serbia, Bosnia and North Macedonia. The hypocrisy is staggering. Labour scrapped the Rwanda deal, with taxpayers had already paid for, without even testing it out. Now, with their poll numbers sinking and Reform UK breaking down or breathing down their necks, they suddenly realise they need to be seen to be doing something. But this is yet another exercise in posturing, or will Labour actually deliver results? Don't hold your breath. The so-called return hubs that Labour is floating bear an uncanny resemblance to the scheme they mocked and dismantled. The difference: Rwanda was dismissed as unsafe by Labour, yet now they expect the public to believe that detention centres over 1,000 miles away in the Balkans are a credible solution. The contradiction is laughable. But let's be clear, even if Labour's plan is floatingly bear an uncanny resemblance, but even if Labour's plan were implemented, it would not stop the boats. Just as Rwanda failed to deter crossings before it was axed, the prospect of being sent to a return hub in Albania will not prevent migrants from making the dangerous journey. The reality is simple. Labour lacks the political will to address the root cause of this crisis. Instead of tackling illegal immigration head-on, by securing our borders, they're recycling failed policies and hoping the public won't notice. And what has Labour's dithering and inaction achieved? Britain's border security is now an international laughingstock. A staggering 85,000 migrants have failed in their asylum claims after exhausting every legal avenue. In total, there are estimated to be over 1.2 million illegal immigrants in the UK. That's an astonishing number that costs British taxpayers billions each year in housing, healthcare and welfare support. To say nothing of the telephones, the mobiles that were given, and the driving lessons, and I understand English lessons as well. Meanwhile, the number of asylum seekers living in a tax-funded hotel has reached an eye-watering 38,000. 38,000 illegal immigrants are living in hotels. These hotels are costing British citizens millions every single day. Not millions a year, millions every single day. While our own people struggle to make ends meet in a cost of living crisis. And yet Labour continues to hide behind empty promises. Empty excuses, blaming the appeals process instead of taking decisive action. The fundamental issue Labour refuses to acknowledge is that securing the nation's borders, not just relying on deterrence, is the only real solution. No amount of bureaucratic reshuffling will stop the crossings unless Britain takes firm control of its borders and enforces its law without hesitation. The government must act decisively to prevent illegal entry in the first place, not just deal with the consequences afterwards. Anything less is just more posturing, more wasted taxpayer money, and yet another betrayal of the British people. The question is no longer whether Labour will act, because their track record makes the answer painfully obvious. It won't. They won't. The question is how much longer the British public will tolerate a government that refuses to defend its own borders. Britain's borders are open and Labour is holding the door open. Now, this wasn't my speech. I'm quoting all of this from the beginning to now has been a quote. It's a quote from Richard Thompson. He was the Reform UK candidate for Braintree in the 2024 general election, and he served as a Royal Marine for 8 years. What do you make of his statement? Do you agree with Mr. Thompson, or do you not? Here's your chance to have your say. Take it. Take your chance to have your say on this matter. It's an important matter. Millions, and I'm talking about one hotel group, and I have done a piece on it, and if I haven't posted it, then I will post it this afternoon, if I haven't done so already. Billions, I'll say it again, billions have been paid to one hotel group that houses a quarter of the migrants that have come into Britain in the last few years. They have just lost the contract, by the way, because of lots of problems, which I'm not going into on this broadcast, but they've lost the contract. But we cannot, but it's been paid for. It's got to be paid for until September 2026. So they will continue running these hotels for migrants until September 26th of September. So September 2026. So this is what's going on. They're paid billions. They have just announced a profit of over £50 million. £50 million profit on housing migrants. It's big business for these hotels. That's just a quarter of what they only run. A quarter of the hotels being used. So if we think that there's another 150 million profit, that's a £200 million profit, and it costs billions to put them in. And that's not including the phones, the driving lessons, the English lessons, the hospital appointments, and everything else the British taxpayers paying. So let's have your comments, please. Comments. Just remember, always be nice and polite if in your comments. We don't want trolls, and I do get a lot of trolls I have to delete. So bring your comments. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. It doesn't cost you a penny, doesn't cost you a cent, doesn't even cost you a rupee. It's totally free to subscribe to this channel. So please do so. It enables me to continue. So until the next time, which will probably be this afternoon, I'm going to say goodbye. But before I do, be safe, be good, and goodbye from DJ. Bye for now. Bye.